Hi guys, get ready with me while I explain the pros and cons of sailing on a Carnival Excel class ship compared to pretty much any other class ship on Carnival. So I sailed on the Mardi Gras, which is one of Carnival's first ever Excel class ships that they came out with. They came out with it in 2020 and I just went on it in May. It was my first ever Excel class ship that I went on. They also have the Jubilee and the Celebration. I've been on a lot of Carnival cruise ships. I think that was like my 6th or 7th one, and we're going on another one in January. So I just want to tell you my personal pros and cons of this ship compared to any of the other Carnival ships that I have been on. So the first pro I have for this class would be that there is so much to do on the boat. You could literally wake up at 7 a.m. and not go to bed until 3 a.m. and you have something to do from the time you wake up till the time you go to bed. There was quite literally so much stuff to do. They had yoga in the morning. They had all types of different shows. They had different times for karaoke. Like, usually the ships only have karaoke one time during the day, but the ship had karaoke like so many times throughout the day. You could literally drink all day long if you wanted to, if that's what you like to do on the boat. That's what I like to do. If that's what you like to do on the boat, you could drink all day long. They had games. They had scavenger hunts. They had trivia. They have little parties on the deck. They have little game shows, different types of shows. They have a lot of stuff to do. You're never going to be bored. Con number one, there is so much to do that even on an 8-night cruise, we still felt like we couldn't get everything done that we actually wanted to do. I'm not kidding, guys, when I say that there is literally so much stuff going on all at once. There's a lot of stuff that goes on at the same time that sometimes you just have to pick and choose. They've got literally so much. They've even got a freaking roller coaster. What boat has a roller coaster? That's crazy. Anyways, they've got a lot going on. And because of all that's going on, you literally feel like you don't have enough time to do everything that you want to do. Now, if you're like me and you like to plan stuff out, then planning what you want to do all day is really no big deal. But if you're not like me and you hate to plan stuff, you will most likely miss a lot of the fun things that you want to do because you have to literally plan out your entire day to be able to go to every show or every trivia or every whatever that you want to do. Another pro of these Excel class ships is the food options. There are literally so many food options on these boats. It's kind of insane. One thing I really, really loved about this boat is that my boyfriend isn't a huge fan of the dinners. I personally love the dinners. He is not a huge fan of them. He doesn't like the fact that it takes time away from actually doing stuff on the boat, which I get, it really does. One thing I really love about this class of ships is that it is not just the dining room restaurants that you can go to dinner to. They have other restaurants, like they have a Mexican and Chinese restaurant, but they also have an Italian restaurant that the first time you eat there, it is free. Now, the second time you do have to pay, but I think it's like $8 a person. So if you really loved it compared to the restaurant, then I personally think it's worth it. The Italian restaurant, I can't remember exactly what it's called right now, but the Italian restaurant was banging. It was banging. I would pay to go there. Now, a con with the restaurants is you do have to not necessarily make reservations, but you do have to get yourself on a wait list. And if you do it too late in the day, most likely you are going to have like a 2-hour wait for dinner. So honestly, if you decide to go to dinner kind of late throughout the day, I would put yourself on the wait list while you're getting ready. Even if you're kind of far away from the restaurant, every single time we would put ourselves on the wait list, it would be about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Now, we did have a large group each time we went, so honestly, that could have been a big problem too. But if you have a large group, I definitely would go ahead and put yourself on the wait list. And then Another con that kind of goes with that is dinner takes so long that if you want to do any of the activities throughout the night, honestly, you just kind of need to skip dinner, unless it's like a 9-10 o'clock activity that you want to do. If you go to dinner at like 5 or 6 o'clock, most likely you're not going to get out until 7 or 8. Now, another pro of these Excel class ships is that there is 2 separate theaters so that they can have shows. So they'll usually do 2 shows at a time, and then they'll do those same 2 shows again, and sometimes maybe even a third time, so that you can still go to both shows that they show throughout the night. Now, the con of this is that because there are 2 theaters, the theaters are much smaller, and you have to get there almost 30 minutes ahead of time in order to get a seat. Most of the time it depends on what the show actually is, but all of the shows that we went to, we really had to get there early, especially the show that is in the middle of the ship, because the seats, depending on where you sit, you can't see the stage. Now, it's not just the stage that you can't see. They do a lot of stuff like, it's a 3-level theater, and they do a lot of stuff that is kind of up in the air. And if you are on that bottom level, but you're kind of behind where the ceiling is, you cannot see up to see whatever they're doing in the air. And I know there is a show, specifically a Vegas show, where they do a lot of spinning in the air. And unfortunately, because we got there kind of late, we did not get a very great seat, and we could not see them doing anything in the air. Apparently, it was really cool. So I heard. I don't know. Didn't get to see it. Another pro of the Excel class ships is there are so many bars. There's literally a bar every time you turn around. So you get extremely good and fast service. I will say, like, I almost never had to wait on service at the bar. Any other ship that I've been on, there's been times where I've literally had to wait like 10 minutes at the bar. And there's still like 4 bartenders, but that's because there's not as many bars everywhere, so you can't just like turn around and go to the next one. But with the Excel class ships, there's literally a bar every corner you turn. A con with that, this is a con to me, it's not a con to everyone. A con to that is you do not get as close with the bartenders or the servers as you would if you were on a smaller boat. I feel like on the bigger boats, they don't really have time to really pay attention. I don't want to say it like that. They do have time to pay attention to you, but there's so many people that they don't have time to get to know each and every one of you. On a smaller boat, they 100% have the time and don't have as many people there to where they can actually sit there and get to know you. So overall, I wouldn't say that Excel class ships are my favorite, but I also wouldn't say they're terrible. I would definitely go on an Excel class ship, especially if you haven't gone on a cruise before. I think the reason that I like the smaller boats a little bit more is because that's what I've grown up on. I've always gone on smaller boats, and then Carnival made a huge jump from their, I think their next one was either Vista or Dream class to their Excel class, and it's a huge jump. So that's probably the reason why I feel about it the way that I do. I still would love to go on Celebration and Jubilee. I'm not saying I'll never go again. I'm just saying I really do love the smaller boats. If you have any questions about anything like that, just let me know.